Breaking Wike's silent grip on our judiciary, why judges must secretly return its gift and how they can do it. No fear everything go happen, make it happen. Wike no be God, one day be one day. Now to the news info. In Wicked Judges and Yesomite Court, published by Sahara Reporters on October 27, 2024, Chidi Alsem Ondekalu unveils a disturbing pattern of entrapment within Nigeria's judiciary, orchestrated by political figures like Nyesom Wike. Odinkalu exposes how Wike's carefully constructed system of influence and generosity has transformed material gifts into subtle bonds, slowly chaining judges to his agenda. What might appear as a mere gestures of goodwill, a car here, a property there, morphs into a sophisticated form of dependency. This entanglement on the Kalu ones is not merely financial but profoundly psychological, leading judges to relinquish their autonomy and become quiet enforcers of political interests. At the core of Odinkalu's critique is Rule 2.8 of Nigeria's Revised Code of Conduct for Judicial Officers 2016, a mandate meant to protect judicial impartiality yet rendered increasingly ineffective as judges find themselves bound by debts, both moral and material, to powerful political patrons. This unspoken contrast with figures like Wike threaten to erode not only individual integrity but also the very foundation of Nigeria's legal system. Odinkalu meticulously traces Wike's entrenchment in the judiciary from his early political days as chairman of Obiakpo local government to his current role as Minister of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), which with each step up in Wike's career, a web of mutual benefit and tacit loyalty has deepened between him and members of the judiciary through his strategic acts of benevolence. Wike has shaped a culture of judicial loyalty that Odinkalu described as Yesomized, a term that encapsulates the pervasive impact of his influence. It is a relationship that extends beyond the transactional, becoming an insidious allegiance where judges feel bound to align their decisions with Wike's interests. This silent allegiance, Odinkalu argues, erodes judicial independence, replacing it with a system of dependency where judges' ruling are guided not by impartiality but by an outspoken debt, a debt that transforms their judgments into symbols of quiet loyalty rather than objective legal decisions. In light of Odinkalu's insight, this psychologist outlines a path of psychological liberation for judges entangled in Wike's web of influence. This process seeks not only to free these judges from the psychological grip of past compromises, but also to empower them to reclaim their autonomy and restore integrity to Nigeria's judiciary. Wike, while governor, had deceptively found ways to directly or indirectly compromise numerous judges. As Odinkalu reveals, many of these judges, initially in lower courts, have now risen to federal high courts, appellate courts, and even the Supreme Court, yet remain constrained by past transactions through a series of gifts, financial support, and favor. Wike has strategically and psychologically bound these judges. Wike has strategically and psychologically bound these judges, creating an enduring loyalty that has eroded their impartiality. To break free from this, the psychologist recommends a first step of confidential restitution, where judges could discreetly return the benefits, favors, and supports they once accepted, severing both symbolic and practical ties to their compromises. This act of restitution, whether conducted privately or through judicial bodies, would enable judges to face the moral weight of their past decisions, freeing them from the burden of guilt that has clouded their impartiality. In reclaiming their autonomy through this act, judges would definitely, finally remove the lingering influence of Wike's generosity from their ruling, restoring their capacity to dispense justice impartially without the shadow of political obligation. I hope that they will be able to do that, to return everything that they have collected from him, because it is because of what they've collected from him. That is why they cannot rule right. They are always ruling in his favor, doing everything that he says they should do, which is wrong. It is very wrong. He said the implications of this renewal would reach far beyond individual acts of restitution, transforming Nigeria's judicial landscape and addressing the insidious practice of judge shopping Wike's influence has highlighted how compromised judges become targets for political connected senior advocates of Nigeria, SANS, who exploit this entanglement for favorable ruling. A judiciary that has reclaimed its autonomy would send a powerful message to SANS and politicians alike. Nigeria's courts are not for sale. This resurgence of integrity would not only restore public trust in the judiciary but also re-establish it as an institution grounded in justice and accountability. Through courage, restitution, and an unwavering commitment to ethical standard, these judges would catalyze a transformative reform that could reshape Nigeria's legal system. This transformation would mark a historic turning point, establishing a higher standard of judicial independence and instilling hope in a legal system dedicated to impartiality. If heeded, this path could transform Nigeria's judiciary into an unwavering pillar of democracy, a guardian of fairness, impartiality, and justice. It would signify not only the end of a corrupted past, but the beginning of a judiciary reborn, one committed to the protection of all Nigerians with an uncompromising resolve, an institution that stands as a beacon of integrity in a landscape long darkened by shadows. This liberation is painful, but it is essential, and only through it can Nigeria's legal system reclaim the honor and trust it so desperately needs to serve its people. Professor John Igbiazan Oshodi, born in Uromi, Edo State, Nigeria, is an American-based police and prison scientist, forensic psychologist, public policy psychologist, and legal psychologist. He is a government advisor on forensic clinical psychological services in the USA and the founder of the Dr. John Igbiazan Oshodi Foundation for Psychological Health. With a significant role in introducing forensic psychology to Nigeria through NUC and Nasarawa State University, he is also a former Secretary General of the Nigeria Psychological Association. He taught